Chapter 14. Augustine got through to Joyce McCarty after 3 attempts. The first 2 went to voicemail. He didn't leave one. He wanted to speak to her. There was no answer phone message that could convey the message. How do you tell someone that a body has been found in the car park of the golf club she manages? Joyce McCarty? That's my name. Try not to wear it out, she answered chirpily. Augustine guessed that she hadn't received the news. Where are you? Augustine asked. I'm at home enjoying a relaxing day off. By the way, who are you? She remembered to ask, so caught up in the jollity of unexpected sunshine and a day off coinciding. It never happened like this. I'm afraid I'm the person calling to cancel your day off. Are you from head office? Worse. Well, you're not my ex-husband, so I'm stumped. I'm Detective Augustine Boyle. There's been a body found in the car park of George Washington Golf Club. Can you meet us there? The cry at the other end of the phone confirmed for Augustine that she had no idea of the news. It took her a full 30 seconds to compose herself and speak again. Of course, I'm in Gateshead at the moment. Will you give me 20 minutes to make myself decent and get over there? Of course. Let the police officer on the gate know your name. I'll make sure they'll let you in. Thank you, Joyce McCarty replied. 20 minutes later, on the button, Joyce arrived. She was wearing the tightest blue jeans that Augustine had ever seen, coupled with a white vest top that showed off her figure. Toned and tanned arms indicated that she used the facilities at the gym and spa attached to the golf club and hotel. Her wavy blonde hair looked like it needed taming, but completed the look of a sassy woman who was ready for just about any situation. Maybe except for the one that she was about to walk into. Her jewellery was all costume. No value to it, but the size of each piece appeared far too big for her frame, especially the ring on her finger that glistened in the light a reddish brown. Joyce McCarty had no idea what to expect. She didn't know if the body had already been cleared from the car park. She didn't know if they would show her images of the dead person. She had no idea if she would be shown CCTV images of the grisly act. Joyce? Electra asked as the woman walked across the car park. The one and only, she responded, trying to put her bravest face on. Electra, the detective responded, offering a handshake. Joyce shook more hands than she dared count in her normal day-to-day role, but that was when she was wearing a suit and a name badge. Today, she was in her civvies and wasn't used to greeting people in that guise. And this is Augustine. Greetings over, they walked into the clubhouse. The fact that they were away from the car park was a huge comfort to Joyce, but she still had other worries. Take a seat, she said to the 2 detectives as they entered her office. They all sat down, and the silence stayed for 10 seconds. Thank you for coming in. We've got a few questions for you. Are you okay to answer a few questions? Electra asked. Joyce nodded. Do you know Mark McManus? She asked. No. Is he the man who was found dead? We'll ask the questions if that's all right. Are you sure? He's been a member here for years, as far as we understand. I'm sure. We have over 1,600 members. I can't keep up with them all. The name doesn't ring any bells, but if you have a photo, then I'll see if I can recognize him. Augustine reached into a file and pulled out the image Andy McManus had given the police. It had been blown up, so it filled an A4 piece of paper. This was the image the police were circulating as part of their inquiries. Andy had chosen well. No, I don't recognize him. The golfers pretty much come and go. They're here for a round of golf, but that takes up enough of their time. Once finished, most are off. A handful are here for the social aspect, but they are usually either wealthy to a point where they don't have to go out to work, or they're retired. He doesn't fit either profile from what I can deduce. What did he do for a living? Augustine looked at Electra. He worked on the oil rigs, 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. More on if they needed extra, Electra responded. So wealthy, but not that wealthy. Yes. Do you know Johnny Lawton? Augustine asked. Yes, that one I don't need a photo for. He isn't a very good player, always blaming the course, the pro, the tee positions, anything other than his game. I've had more complaints from Lawton than all the other members put together, and remember that we've got more than 1,600 of those. He's a lousy player and a lousy human being, from my experience. Why, is he part of this? No comment, Electra responded, mimicking the responses she had got from Lawton during the interview. I think I have a right to know if another of my members had been injured here, or worse, Joyce responded, sitting upright in her chair, her blue eyes widening moment by moment. He's not injured, believe me. Has there been any feuds in the golf club recently? Anything that Mark could have been involved in? Every now and again we get wind of people going against each other. Groups form, people blank each other, you know. But we're usually the last ones to know. It's all happened and blown over by the time we get to find anything out, and by then it's all gossip and conjecture. Joyce smiled at her use of the word conjecture. She liked using big words, but got fed up with having to explain them afterwards to members of the team who were just there for the cash. We understand that you have an extensive CCTV system here. Can we take a look? Augustine asked. Who told you that? We had the pleasure of meeting Dan Godfrey this morning, Electra explained. Dan? He's harmless when you get to know him. He looks like a tiger from the outside, but when you get near enough, he's really a pussycat. Electra and Augustine exchanged glances. They were sure to talk about that sentence later, but they didn't want to dwell on it at that time. There were a few shady characters in the case, but this was all speculation, or conjecture, as Joyce McCarty said, so they needed to add some evidence to the mix, preferably something conclusive. The CCTV, Augustine asked, moving things on. Shall we? Joyce deftly managed the CCTV system. What time are we looking at? She asked. Let's start at 8 last night, and the cameras in the car park, if you will, Augustine requested. He felt that much of Joyce's good humour had deserted her, and wanted to put some light into a dark situation. 8 car park, Joyce muttered, as she pressed keys and moved a joystick that looked like an oversized version of the Pac-Man games Augustine played as a child in the arcades. He wondered if arcades were still a thing now that home consoles had graphics far beyond anything he could have imagined as a kid. 8 car park, Joyce repeated as she clicked the button again. This time there was a degree of consternation in her voice. What's wrong, Joyce? Electra asked, picking up on it. There doesn't seem to be an 8 yesterday in the system. It's like we're on repeat. She clicked away, trying for a different result when she knew that wouldn't be the case. She clicked a different button, then sat back in her chair with the biggest sigh of her life. What is it? Joyce, what is it? Someone has reset the CCTV system. They have changed the time to yesterday evening, so last night has been wiped over with this morning. I can see them in the office making a change, and then it goes off. Someone? Electra asked. Specifically, Dan Godfrey, Joyce responded.